Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Deadball Specialist, aptly titled Head of God, with a little nod to young Alisson over there in the Liverpool sticks. So without much further ado, there's a lot of games to get into this week, so we'll just jump straight into it. And the first one we're going to be looking at is United-Liverpool. Now, if you remember in the last show, I was a bit negative, definitely negative towards the chances of us winning that game. And I think I didn't think we would win it, in all honesty, and I think you knew that I was very, very, very sad about that game. The game finished 4-2 to Liverpool, so it was a huge result. The predictions were, pre the game though, is Ahmed, you said Liverpool would win 2-1. I said they'd lose 2-1. Now, it was a great game and a fantastic result. I think for me, my concern grew in the week, really, really much so, because Leicester played Man United a couple of days before, if you remember. And in that game, Man United put out like a beating, basically, because they were ready to put their best team out against us in the Europa League. So I was a bit concerned because I was thinking, Man United are going to do everything they can to stop Liverpool's top four hopes. They look a lot better team than they have been for a while. So Liverpool looking seriously still off form. So I was concerned. But Liverpool could have been 4 or 5-1 up at one point, I thought, in that game. I mean, Bobby Firm's finding some form again, and the goal, the man that you call a Brazilian lesbian with big teeth, is doing bits again.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, sorry. And I thought we dominated the game. United were dangerous throughout, generally. It was massive for the top four race, like massive. Like, your prediction is still on. I never thought we'd make it.
I told you.
As they say, the door might be closed, but that window is open, and it's wide open now. United seemed a bit unfocused.
You making a Liverpool burglar connection there?
Maybe a couple, yeah.
Okay.
All Scousers are scallywags, so don't worry about it.
You're allowed to make that reference. You live there now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you tell me, what did you see?
It kind of went to plan for me. Let me just say, a central midfield of Fred and McTominay. Mm-hmm. If you lose to a central midfield like that, you deserve to liquidate as a club. I'm talking about anybody. I'm sorry. Fred and McTominay are your two centre mids. Cool. Yeah. Not exactly Xavi and Iniesta. So that's fine.
But Fernandes and Pogba were playing. Don't forget that.
Fernandes is a fraud who should be managing a Nando's at Stratford Westfield. Pogba is world-class baller. And any team in the world would be lucky to have him. On talent alone and who he is and his talent alone could walk into any team. But United fans don't really like him, so I don't know what's going on.
But the thing is, he's not found that Juventus form at United since he's come back. He really hasn't. Maybe the odd game here or there, but he's not.
Down to the manager. Okay, cool. Who's he had as a manager? I think David Moyes. Moyes, right?
No. He had Mourinho.
So Mourinho, who is a fraud and doesn't like anyone who displays an ounce of flair.
Yeah,
and now he has this Norwegian PE.
Yeah. The man who's finished second in the league. It's not bad for a PE teacher. And in the Europa League final.
Still a PE teacher.
Okay.
I mean, he's better than Arteta, who's an actual terrorist. But we'll
come on to that, surely. But you tell me about that game.
I thought, like you said, Liverpool could have been 4-5 up before halftime. I thought they were fantastic. I thought, even though Mane wasn't happy, I thought starting Diogo Jota was a masterstroke, I think, by Klopp, because he stretches them. He's on the left, and you've got Wan-Bissaka on the right, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct, yes.
Who I don't rate at all. I think he's no good.
He's fantastic in one-on-one defending situations. I think personally, he's very, very good at that. He's not the best crosser, and he's not the most attacking fullback. But as a one-on-one defender, I don't see many.
He can't pass. He can't defend. He can't score.
He can defend. He can defend. As a one-on-one, he's one of the best. He's one of the best defenders one-on-one. As a fullback, I think we've seen for a long time.
Let's look at someone like Ashley Cole, or even like Gary Neville. If that is the level of fullbacks now, then I retire watching the game because no good whatsoever. Give me Trent all day long, but that's more of a philosophical debate. I was going to say yes. I thought Liverpool were fantastic. I thought Mo Salah, the guy that you're trying to bin, was wonderful again. This man, I'll tell you what.
I want to keep Salah. I'd rather get rid of Mane. I told you this.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I said Mane. I said I'd keep the goals because even though
You
Salah
said
has
Salah will bring in more money, so you want to get rid of him.
Salah would bring in more money. I agree. I think the front three need freshening up. I still don't take away from that. I used to want to get Salah out because I think Salah was a bit too greedy. But then the more I look at it, the more I think Mane gives less, and at least Salah is still scoring
Mane
goals.
is world class.
Yeah, but this season he's been terrible. And
So he has one
I
bad season, and you want to bin him.
I'm not saying that, but I think
The whole club's had a bad season.
the whole. I agree with that too. But I do think the front three need freshening up, and I think one of them needs to go. And I'd rather
Firmino needs to go. Get an actual goal scorer in.
I think Bobby's too versatile to let go of, personally.
Versatile.
But he is, and he also scored 2 goals in that game. Let's not forget that, right?
Yes, he did, and I respect
two
that,
great goals. And the other thing I want to say, the Mane upset point that you made a second ago, I found out the background reason to that. Interestingly enough, so it was Eid, if you remember. Obviously, Mane's
Thursday. Yes. I celebrated.
Thursday, yes, so it was Eid, and
no, I didn't deserve it.
Yes. You always deserve it, mate. Of course you do. So. That's fine. So basically because it was Eid, Mane was pissed off because he was saying, if you're going to play me for 90 minutes, that's fine, but don't bring me on with like 20 minutes ago. I could have been celebrating Eid with my family. That's why he was annoyed, because he said, either bring me on for the whole game or leave me on the bench. I don't mind, but then at least don't let me be in the squad. Let me celebrate Eid.
Exactly. If he's not going to start and play the whole game, take him out of the squad.
And that's his point. But I think Klopp's point was like also to play him, to say, look, I've still got faith in you. I still want you there. And who knows how much of a conversation was had between them about Eid before the game. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know.
Because Sadio, unlike myself, is a proper...
He's a good Muslim, yeah.
Like, he honestly, like, I've seen videos of him in the masjid, like sweeping, cleaning up, doing all sorts. Like, he's actually a proper good Muslim. So to Eid is like 100 million times more kind of means more to him, you know, than someone like me, for example. So I can't understand Klopp's. I'll give an example. If there was like a normal kind of player, right? Would they play? I mean, obviously, in English football, we don't play on Christmas Day. I know they do in NFL, but we don't play on Christmas Day.
No.
So if you're a minority, let's say you're in another country and it's Christmas Day. You wouldn't be expected to play on Christmas Day or train on Christmas Day. You know, it's a big day. You know, you're supposed to be there with your family and enjoying it. I think that's poor form.
Okay, but let me just ask you this in the flip side, just to play devil's advocate here, is that you work in an office 9 to 5. You don't get Eid off because even though you're in a job, right? No. You don't nationally. It's not a national. You take the day off, but it's not a national holiday. Yeah. So the same thing applies to footballer. No, but of course it's because.
But why can't Klopp give him up?
I'm not saying. I'm not saying that he shouldn't give him off. All I'm saying is that just in the working world where it's not a national holiday, in this country it's not a national holiday. So therefore it's seen as another working day. So that's the other thing to say. Like, rather than just like slam Klopp, he should have given him time off. I'm not saying he shouldn't have, but there is an argument to the point of like, well, unfortunately in this country it's another working day. So what do you see? Can you see that argument? Of like,
football doesn't follow the working culture of this country. It doesn't follow. You know, like games are played on bank holidays and Boxing Day and stuff like that when everyone's away. Football is its own little bubble, you know. And I think that if Klopp wasn't going to start Mane, he should have just left him out the squad.
Well, that's clearly what I think. That's what Mane was aggrieved about, and Mane's got a valid point. But we don't want to.
So Mane might wanted to hit up the club with his boys afterwards.
But more importantly, let's not get too religious on this show.
Anyway,
that's a recipe for disaster from us.
That's the other podcast I appear on. Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you stick it to that. You stick that.
Yeah, I'm the fake shake.
I'll tune in, mate. Sounds great. Right, let's move on to the next game. Arsenal-Chelsea. So we'll start with predictions. Chelsea, I thought 2-0. You thought 3-0 to Chelsea. So we both had an Arsenal loss. Score was 1-0 Arsenal. I'll let you kick it off, mate. Your team.
So my former club did a madness. Was not expecting
former club. Okay.
Oh yeah, I've retired from this lot as of the end of the season. So they can go fuck themselves. Croydon De Bruyne once again.
Croydon De
MLC.
Bruyne.
You know I've been rating this guy for
The
a long.
Croydon Kaka, I think you're fine. The
Oh
Croydon
my
Kaka.
god, Kaka right now is probably calling him asking for a signed shirt. Like that's how good this kid is. I absolutely love this kid to bits. Thornton Heath boy, wonderful,
Man.
great. Oba kind of Jorginho, who I think is a massive fraud in England anyway. He was brilliant for Napoli. Don't get me wrong.
He was.
I think if anybody suits Serie A, it's Jorginho. He cannot cut it in the Prem. There's a dodgy back pass. Oba kind of got onto it, cut it back for Smith Rowe. He almost scuffed it, but went off the post.
Did you see his face? Did you see his face when he hit it? He was looking at the ball at Smith Rowe, like, staring at the ball like, please go in, please go in, please go in.
It's like have you ever kind of arrived late into the box, right? Yeah. And let's say someone has cut it back for you, and you have kind of mishit it, or it's hit your standing leg.
Yeah, he's just
going like, this should be like I should have scored. Oh, what am I doing? It's a bit like that.
And it just bobbles in, and you're just like,
bobbles in. You're like, yes, you go away like arm up, Inzaghi style, thinking, 100%.
I meant that, yeah.
Yeah, I meant that, but really you didn't. You're like,
there's no amateur footballer that's not done that.
Exactly. You're like, oh my god, I'm so glad they went in. Especially rare for me, being a former centre back as well. So if I do arrive in the box, I better fucking score, get a corner or something, because I'm gonna get yelled at if I abandon my post. But yeah, no, delighted. I thought Arsenal defended really, really well. Yeah. They weren't spectacular, but I thought they were very, very solid. And that is the one thing I can give to Arteta. As much as I hate him, as much as I feel that he is Osama bin Laden 2.0, he has a level of organization.
He does. You've not had for a while.
Which we've not had, I think, since George Graham, if I'm being completely
honest. Yeah, I would agree with you.
So, yeah, really happy for the result. Happy for Smith Rowe, of all people. It means nothing for our season. We're not going to get into Europe. We're not going to win anything. But for me, I'm just glad it's Chelsea and they lost. Speaking of Chelsea, I'd like to... also, I think just before we recorded, I spoke to you. I've been away for a week.
Yes.
I've been in Leicester, my second city. And I was there watching the cup final. And let me just say, firstly, shout out to my Birmingham Leeds crew, Ep11 posse all day, Bun New Parks, we shit all over them. When I was in like an estate. Yeah, I was in an estate watching the game. And when Yuri Tielemans hit that winner, I went buck wild. It was absolutely crazy. I was celebrating like a madman. The entire estate, all you could hear it was electric. Everyone came out onto the street. They were, swinging their scarves and celebrating. And when Chelsea's goal got ruled out for VAR, it was just as a big of a scream. And the whole street was singing, VAR, VAR, VAR. So I hate well, of course they must have spent hours writing those lyrics. But that was the first time I said, you know what, maybe VAR ain't so bad.
Yeah, so, I thought that too this weekend. But we'll come on to that later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations, Leicester. They've been to 4 FA Cup finals. They won their first one. Wonderful city, wonderful people. Yuri Tielemans, but I'm not just saying this because he scored the winner. This guy is world class. I think he played against us for Anderlecht, and he was like 17. Absolutely bossed the show in the middle of the park. World class, generational talent. He would start for any team in Europe. He's that good. And Leicester have got a gem on their hands. And also as well, sorry, I don't want to keep going on about this because obviously this is a Prem only podcast, but Leicester's owners is how you should do it. Okay, so the Cronkies and the Glazers, all the Leicester's owners are how you should do it because you know what? They're a part of that community. They put in their own money. They love the club. They feel the club. They're a part of it. They're not absentee owners. That is what an owner should be, And the Cronkies and the Glazers and all these other slags should take notice. This is how you should run a club. This is what you should be doing.
I
So,
agree.
so happy for them. So happy for them. And I cheered Tielemans' goal as much as Ober's last year.
Wow. Okay. Well, first of all, it was a
Shot the
wordy
2
shot.
meters left and dinked it.
Yeah, it was a wordy strike. I mean, Ober's goal was great too, but that was a wordy strike from Tielemans. And I also agree. I'm so happy for Leicester. I love Leicester, and I'm glad they won it. It's funny because you've been calling Brendan Rodgers a bottle job for a while, and it's funny that he's gone and done. He's proven you wrong slightly, slowly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Well, winning the FA Cup proves you wrong a little bit already, but. It's another one of your dead ball opinions. It's great. I like it. At least we're ringing true to our name, mate. This is what I mean. Before we move on for this game, I'll just quickly add. I thought for Arsenal, it's a big confidence boost winning that game, and also for Liverpool's top four hopes, it was a massive result. Everything that week was fantastic for us. Havertz missed a sitter at the beginning of the game, and obviously that would have completely changed the flow of the game, I thought. And the other thing was, I think Chelsea were generally on top. I agree, you defended very resolutely, and defending, you didn't look fallible at all. And I don't think Chelsea had loads of clear-cut chances, but they did have a couple of chances where a few good saves. And I thought generally they're on top, but Arsenal were good value for the win, and I'm glad they won. And it was a nothing game for you guys, but for Chelsea, it was a very important game. So, and really it was a howler, so I guess howlers happen.
For me, they're going to tumble out the top four. I think Liverpool will sneak it.
And it'll be all the sweeter if it's Chelsea that we do it to. I'd much rather it be Chelsea.
I may get diabetes if that happens.
Now, Man United Leicester, next game. Let's move on to that. So, you kind of touched on Leicester anyway about the FA Cup win. Man United put out a terrible team for this, right? And the reason they put out a terrible team is because they wanted to do Liverpool over and put their best team out for us. Backfired, couldn't be happy about it. And obviously they wanted to focus on the Europa League as well to get those players a bit more game time before the Europa League comes about. Now, they handed the title to City by losing that game. And it was an average game at best. I didn't think it was great. But it was a terrible result for Liverpool, right? Naturally, you guys then beat Chelsea and we beat Man United, which kind of turned the tables because that game was before. But when I saw that result, I just thought my heart sunk a little bit because I thought, you know what? Leicester on top. Leicester will probably qualify for Champions League, and Man United don't care because they're safe in second now. So City's title's gone, long gone. It's theirs already. Man United were never going to win that. So all Man United could do is win the Europa League and do Liverpool over. But I'm glad that they couldn't do us over, basically. How did you see the game?
United team selection, I could understand. I think they had something like, which I've never seen before, by the way.
Some of the players, yeah.
3 Premier League games in 5 days, or 6 days, or something ridiculous like that. You know, we play or have played Sunday League, right, or 5-a-side. Can you imagine playing like 2 games in 2 days, or 3 games in 4 or 5 days? Yeah. Impossible. Well, okay, yeah. Maybe. Okay,
I think amateur standard is very different, though. I think the rigmaroles of amateur football are very different. Like, for example, training 1 week and having a game and then having another 90-minute game 2 days later doesn't kill. But as a professional footballer, you're training every day. So I think it's a different.
Okay, this is because you are a specimen of a human being. You are in the you know, you're in your prime. Whereas someone like me, I start to feel my knees, mate. You know, after one game, you know, and I need a few days to recover. I'm like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? Like, especially once you pass 30.
Yeah, when you pass 30, different level, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, but I don't know. You're built different. But yeah, I understand Ollie's team selection. I get that.
Yeah.
You know, he's in a European final. I get that. But I think that kind of handed the onus to Leicester. Soyuncu got the winner, didn't he?
He did, yes. Yeah.
Okay. This was the guy that we were linked with. We were linked with him and Torreira. We bought Torreira.
Yeah.
But we lost out on Soyuncu. I love this guy.
Do you? Do you think
he's a wonderful centre back, especially in the 3.
He gets battered by pace, though. He does get battered by pace.
Yes, but that's why I think he's better in 3. You know, because someone who's a bit more pace and kind of cover him, like Fofana, for example, and kind of cover him. But he will put his head onto everything. You know, if you want someone to stick their head onto the end of anything, he's your guy. If you want a last ditch tackle, he's your guy. If you want someone to kind of read the game and, you know, intercept a pass, he's your guy. He kind of he kind of reminds me of Per Mertesacker.
Oh, interesting.
Because
Interesting
Per
take.
Mertesacker's reading of the game and actual ability in defending is up there with anything I've seen.
Yeah,
It's just he was like, you know, 7'9" and he was slow as hell. But his reading of the game is just fantastic. And yeah, so I'm a big fan of him, and I'm glad he got the winner. And I'm glad he won the FA Cup as well.
Yeah, okay. Let's move on to the next game, which is West Brom Liverpool. And the reason for the title of this episode.
Yes, sir.
So, massive result.
Huge result.
Like humongous. Liverpool were mainly dominant in that game. I think West Brom stayed in the game throughout. Obviously, it was only 2-1, so they stayed in the game. Never offside for that goal, by the way. They should have gone 2-1 up. And if I was a West Brom fan, I would be furious, absolutely furious. Like the reason for it was like the player was stood in front of Alisson. He didn't move for the ball.
I'm not the whole thing stood in front of. Like, come on, I don't agree with that.
No, yeah. So, but VAR has been gone against Liverpool so many times. Well, it feels that way anyway. If you always remember the ones that go against you and not the ones that go for you, and I think overall, that's probably gone a little bit of a way to balancing it out for once for us, because it was never offside and we got away with one, absolutely. I watched the game, as we watch all these games, as you know. I was sitting here, I drove back from London on the Sunday, and I got up here. I was watching that game and I thought, how are we not 3-1 up here? We're dominating, we had enough chances. Classic Liverpool. It was summed up our whole season basically. On top, creating enough, just not scoring goals. And I sat there kind of like this, like 2 minutes ago. One corner come out, it's terrible. I was like, oh, this is over. There's nothing going to happen now. And literally, I started, as soon as Alisson got ahead of me, I jumped around, started screaming like a little bitch, was just going fucking mad. Like, literally, I was like, I just couldn't contain myself. I was like, what have I seen? Like, what is it? And all that went through my mind is, what's VAR going to say? What's VAR going to say? What's VAR going to say?
Yeah.
Which is horrible that now that's kind of imprinted on the fan. But as soon as I was just like, well, there's nothing, I can't see anything wrong with that goal. And I just started running around the living room, mate. I was going mad. I was like, I cannot believe it. This poor man who's gone through so much with his dad and super religious guy has fucking done it. And he was crying afterwards, mate. And his interview was, okay, whatever, it was a bit religious, but it was very sweet and it was very just like humble and like, you're just a nice guy, man. Like, you seem like a nice church-going dude, man, God-fearing dude. Like, you seem all right to me.
Which is more than can be said for us. I could not have picked a better person or a more deserving person to get that. When I saw the result, I was smiling from ear to, I'm not even a Liverpool fan, and I was smiling from ear to ear. I'm so happy that he got the winner. He really went through a tough time when his dad died in an accident. And, you know, he was from what I understand, he was in a really dark place. Of course he would be, you know, that's your parent, you know, but his dad played a huge part in getting him to where he is. And the fact that he was able to score that, and he mentioned his dad in a post-match interview, wonderful. This is why we love the game.
Yeah.
This is why we love the game. This is why we love football. Nothing in this world can ever compare to football and what it does and the emotion, everything. I don't care who you support, just the basic raw emotion that football gives you, nothing can replace that. So I was so delighted when he got that winner. Fantastic. On another note as well, what a fucking header.
Oh, yes. I mean, yes, absolutely.
In my life, I've seen one better header than that. So for me, it goes from third to number one. Third best header I've ever seen, David Platt, Highbury, 1997, Manchester United, corner. I think it was in the North Bank. I was there. Wonderful header. YouTube it if you haven't seen it. I think we'll put it in the...
Yeah, we'll put it in the description,
Yeah, put it in the description. Second was Alisson's. What a header that was, by the way. Keeper, brilliant.
Yeah. And Van Persie, surely.
No, Van Persie's not in there.
What? No. Van Persie's header for Holland, from outside the box?
It was a good header.
What do you mean more than a good header?
It was a good header, but the best head I've ever seen is Drogba, Champions League final at the Allianz against Munich.
Oh, okay. That was
Literally, I think they were in stoppage time.
Yeah.
How did he get that? I mean, don't get me wrong, I was cursing him at the time because I was like, fuck you. Like, Chelsea winning the Champions League. Like,
it's a disgrace! Remember when
it's a fucking disgrace. He came back from that. He came back from slapping Vidic in the final and getting sent off, you know, and being called a Black Sea by all his fans.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's Chelsea fans for you, man.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I was on a train when they were racially abusing him, you know. So
What?
I find it. Yeah. I think they played Charlton or someone at home, and I was on a district line.
He had a bad game, and he just.
But listen, that's Chelsea fans for you.
Yeah,
But I was so happy for him, mate. Corner, I think it was one Matt or someone that whipped in the corner, like an outswinger.
Yeah.
Like miles away from the thing. Does that? I don't know where he gets the power from. And he beats Manny Neuer, who we can agree was probably the best keeper in the world at
that time. Yeah, definitely.
Near post, top bins, mate. When it's like stoppage time, Champions League final. There's never been a better header in the history of this game compared to that. The technique, the power, the importance, the time.
Maybe that's something we can discuss.
The winner as well in the shootout. If I'm a Chelsea fan, all my kids are being called Didier. I'm sorry.
I think what we should do is maybe discuss top 5 headers. We've only got a couple of weeks left.
Oh my God!
Why don't we do top 5 headers?
Sold.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Right. Let's move on because we are running out of time, and there are many games to discuss. So, and we've been going off on a tangent a lot already. We haven't. So,
more specialists if we're not going off on a tangent.
That's true. Newcastle City.
Oh.
So, and I've got a few questions for you this episode as well when it comes to the relevant games. But on that one, fantastic game. Open, free-flowing. Newcastle played like this all year. They would have finished mid-table, 10th, 13th, comfortably, or 11th. You know what I mean? They were brilliant in that game, I thought. Ferran Torres, is this their new number 9? Because the Danny Ings thing is it's there and thereabouts. Aguero's 100% gone. He doesn't trust Jesus. He puts Torres up front from time to time. And when Torres does play up front, he has scored goals and he's found the net.
Yes, but I don't think he's number 9.
No, but let me just say this quickly. Just
a false 9, maybe.
No. But this is the thing. Pep's talking about. I bought him as a winger, but I think he should look at becoming a number 9. So Pep's talking like this already. So if Pep talks like that, surely he turns into number 9.
He could convert him. He would need maybe a few pre-season games, kind of see how he gets on.
But he's played number 9. This is what I'm saying. He's played number 9 this year for them. 3 or 4 times.
Apart from this game?
No, in all the other games he's played, I think he scored a goal. He scored in every single game. Every single game he played number 9, he scored a goal.
To be perfectly honest, listen, the modern game, the way it is right now, especially with kind of Pep's formation and philosophy, he could easily play as a false 9. That's what I'm saying. However, for me, on the left, where Ferran Torres plays, give me Sterling all day long. All day long, I'm having Sterling on in that position.
Right. So then, why not have Torres up front? Aguero's gone. Sterling won with Mahrez the other, and Torres up top.
I don't trust Jesus at all. I think he's a bit of a fraud.
Fine.
I don't like him. I don't rate him. So if I was him, yeah, I'd probably do that. But it could backfire.
It could, but he bagged a hat trick, mate. You know, Lacazette's not back to hat-trick for Arsenal yet, and this is a new guy scoring hat-tricks for. He's played.
Why are you dragging us into this debate? Why are you? We're down bad, okay? Leave us alone.
Fine.
Okay? It's a Man City debate. Stick to Man City.
Fine. Dude, I see you didn't want to go off on that tangent. It's fine.
No,
you tell me about it.
I'm not willing to go off on.
You tell me about the game. You tell me how you thought.
It was basically City and Newcastle seasons in a nutshell. Because if you remember at the beginning of the season, City were well off the pace.
Yes, yeah.
Well off the pace. Nobody backed them to win the title. You guys were doing very well until Jordan Pickford did the Liu Kang kick. You know, that Liu Kang lunge. Chun-Li, Street Fighter style assault.
Johnny Cage shadow kick. Yeah,
Johnny Cage. Literally, that was like Mortal Kombat style. It was crazy. That lunge on Van Dijk, which basically ruined your season. before that, you guys were looking to kind of win the league. I thought you guys were looking fantastic,
Yeah.
and City were well off the pace. I think, and honestly, on a personal, I was kind of fearing for Pep's job. I'm thinking he didn't win it last year. He won it by 1 point the year before that.
Yeah.
He's in big trouble here. He spent a lot of money. How's he going to get out of this? And I think when was it? From like November, whenever it was after that incident, they won the craziest run. Won like 13, 14, 15 games in a row. And Newcastle as well. Newcastle have looked dangerous moving forward. Saint-Maximin and Almiron on both wings. Always look like they have a goal threat. Callum Wilson up front. We all know how good he is and the quality he offers. And the fact that they brought in my guy, Joe Willock.
That was very astute, I thought, that bit of business.
That is...
Here's the thing.
Steve Bruce saw it, but Arteta didn't. What does that make Arteta?
Steve Bruce has been in the game a lot longer, though. Let's not forget that too.
Yeah, it makes Arteta Bin Laden's number 2.
I know you hate this guy.
I can't stand this guy. But anyway, that deserves a podcast, whole episode for itself. But yeah, so he's brought in Joe Willock, who's got really crucial goals from. Like I think every goal apart from this one, and that penalty he scored, he has either won them a point or won them all 3 points.
See, that's brilliant.
Crucial, and I think Joe Willock scored more than all of our midfielders combined, by the way, this season. Just saying. So it was a really good game. Really, really enjoyed it. City are deserving champions, and Newcastle.
Absolutely.
And like you said, if Newcastle played like this from the beginning, easily mid-table.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? And this is the thing, and everyone's hammering Bruce, but I quite like Bruce. I think he's not the worst. I don't think he's the worst manager. I think Newcastle are demanding so much from the team because I think now they have a similar mindset to, and not to drag your team back into this, but to Arsenal fans in that they expect, because Newcastle at one time was successful, they're pushing Champions League places, they were very good, had great teams. So they demand that level of success, same as Arsenal fans, but football has changed so much and the teams that were once dominating are no longer dominating, and it's all swings and roundabouts. So I think it's hard to slam Bruce when he has no money. You've got someone like Mike Ashley running the club who drains it for every penny it's worth and puts little money into the club. So I think Bruce has done a fantastic job for it.
If you put Graham Potter into Newcastle, where would they be?
That's a great point.
Exactly. Yeah. Can you imagine Graham Potter in charge of the squad? He'll be doing bits.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Well, all right, let's move on to the Spurs-Wolves game. So it's 2-0 to Spurs. Now, I'm going to ask you this. This is the question I want to ask you. Harry Kane, summer move.
If he has any ounce of ambition and actually wants to win a trophy, he should move. He's not going to do anything there.
But part of his issue, I think, go on.
I actually think he will move because I think he's fed up. He's fed up because he knows he's not going to win anything at Spurs. I think Levy will get the maximum for him, but the fact that he's 29 and has glass ankles, from someone who also has glass ankles, I know what that's like. So I think if the right bid comes for him, maybe from United or someone else, maybe City are looking for a striker. I think he will move. I think he'll go, and I think he will finally realize his potential as a striker. Because let's not deny this: Harry Kane is world class.
I agree. I think
world class as a 10, world class as a 9. He's a goal scorer. He is a generational talent. He's really up there. He's levels, and he's wasting his career and wasting his time at Spurs. So I think he'll move. I think he'll go.
Okay, so for me, I think the complexities come in twofold. One is Levy won't let him go for cheap.
No, he won't.
Right.
It's a hard bargain, yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, nobody's got any money because of COVID. So a player like Kane is going to...
Do you know what I think?
Go on. Oh, have I lost you? I think I've temporarily lost Ahmed. Just 1 second. So we've got Ahmed back, thankfully. Go on, Ahmed. So you were saying, like I said, there's no money in COVID, and there's no money, I think, to be spent. And Kane's not worth less than £75 million, so no one's got that kind of cash to spend like that. Yeah, exactly. That's conservative. That's
exactly. Firstly, thank you, Virgin Media. Really appreciate it. 1 gig fiber, my ass. Harry Kane. Do you know what I think will happen? I think because he costs so much, because how important he is, and obviously because of COVID and no one has any money, I think what will happen is a Tevez situation where you'll get him on like a 1 year or a 2 year loan deal with, like a balloon payment at the end. So if you've ever bought a car, on PCP finance, you have it for 3 years, and if you like it, you pay a balloon payment. If not, you give it back. I think that will happen because that gets Harry Kane and his huge wages off Tottenham's books. And then, that team likes him, and if he does well for them, they buy him. If not, he comes back to Spurs, and Spurs will be more than happy to have him because he's a club legend and their skipper. I don't think anyone has that kind of. I don't think anyone in Europe has Harry Kane money. He can go to China. He can go to China if he wants, but do you really think Harry Kane's going to go to China?
He wants to win stuff. If you want to win stuff, you can't go there.
Exactly. He's not. He's not Marco Arnautovic. Or Oscar.
Who wants to pay there? Well, but again, you can't. You can. If anybody says anything against Oscar, I will defend him to the hill. The thing you need to realise is a poor man from Brazil with no money whatsoever is being offered loads of money to look at for a short career of 10 years. You're saying to this man, "You've come from poverty. You've come from nothing. I'll give you either 120 grand a week. Oh, actually, I'll give you 400k a week, and you don't win the major trophies. You don't win the major trophies, but for 12 years, you're going to be earning 400k
you know
a week.
What? I can't hate that.
Can't argue that, mate.
I can't argue that because look, if someone like Harry Kane who grew up in like relative wealth, I could get that.
It's different.
A poor kid from Brazil or Africa, or whatever, some Chinese club offering 500 grand a week.
You cannot turn it down, mate.
For me, the biggest example was Ezekiel Lavezzi, who did madness at Napoli. Looks really, really good. I'm thinking, this guy's going to be a world beater. And he went to China, mate, at the beginning of all that. And I understood, mate, he's from Argentina, probably, like, there's not a lot of money out there, and
that's my point.
Growing up in poverty, if someone's offering that, mate, you can't turn it down. And let's be real, football is a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Football is a job like any other.
Exactly that, mate. And that's what kind of my point is that I think you can't slam people for doing that. You can do it like if you come up from in a nice environment, be hungry to win stuff. But if you come from nothing and you want to earn a payday and it's just a job, that's fine too.
Also, as well, like you said, your career is like this. Like most people's career is like what, 40, 50 years?
Yeah. 12, 15. Yeah. 20 is a push though, mate. You don't really get that. You get really from the ages of about kind of 18, maybe 20 to about 32, 33. So you get about 10, 12 years, 14, 15 at a push.
So you're supposed to earn all your money in because you're not getting paid after that, by the way. That's it.
Unless you're someone like David Beckham, who's a global icon, you don't get that level. So,
also, one last thing, you could get injured at any point. You can get injured at any point. Like for example, Dean Ashton.
Yeah,
Dean Ashton is in the building trade now. I think he was like he was in the England squad, came from Norwich, went to West Ham, looking really good. Fucked his ankle. Never play football again.
No. But he tried to sue about that. Didn't he try to sue the player? I think that did that too.
No, I think West Ham tried to sue England. He got injured on
England duty. Yeah, something along those lines. Right. So let's move on because there's still quite a few games left to go. So the thing to note is with the rest of these games is that they're kind of playing for nothing now. People have been relegated, and really the only race that's open is the top four race. So really it's like Chelsea, Leicester, and Liverpool because, the next game we look at doesn't really affect it. But Brighton, West Ham, and those kind of teams, West Ham kind of killed their chances. Everton have absolutely obliterated their chances. But the next game we're going to look at is Palace Villa. So Benteke found a bit of form and some good goals. They won that game 3-2 Palace. Now, surprisingly, I said 3-1 to Villa, and you said 2-0 to Villa. Because why would
2-0 to Villa? Okay.
Yeah, and why would you not think that? But I think it was a great result for Palace, and Palace are picking up a bit of form again. There's a couple of teams that have now picked up a little bit of form at the end, and like Danny Welbeck's picked up a bit of form towards the end of the season, and now Benteke's picking up the same bit of form as well. But the wins are for nothing, really. It was a pointless game. Villa are safe, Palace are safe. So it's just more for personal pride now. It was nice to see Palace win. They're close to my doorstep, so like in here.
Yeah, they're hometown.
Yeah. So, how did you see the game?
Like you, I was a bit surprised. I thought Villa would win it. I just want to hail Christian Benteke. His header, by the way, was fantastic.
Yeah.
His first header, absolutely brilliant. That's the kind of player he is. Okay,
Yeah.
and he suffered from maybe like a lack of confidence over the years, whatnot. Obviously, his failed move to
From
Liverpool,
us, yeah.
but this man is a problem. And I remember it was the 2015 FA Cup final, Arsenal versus Villa. I think Villa were on their way down, they were like the bottom three or whatnot. But I spent the whole kind of night and in the morning shitting myself because I knew one ball to Christian Benteke and Koscielny and Mertesacker would be in big, big trouble. This guy is levels. We
He's
ended up winning a
problem,
4-0 and Mertesacker scored. So, it tells you, this is why I'm not a coach. But yeah, he was brilliant. And I'd also like to hail Emi Martinez as well.
Yes, let's. I was actually gonna touch on that when.
Can we hail him, please?
Yeah, we're gonna hail him. We're gonna actually hail him during the Villa Everton game. But
Perfect.
Cool.
Can I come on to that, or do you want to go on to it?
We're going to do that game a bit later, but if you want to hail him now, feel free.
I'll just say we sold the wrong keeper.
I agree. I said that from day one. Told you that from day one. I said Leno's shit. Martinez is much better.
He's not shit. Leno is good.
No, he's average. He's an average keeper.
No, he's an average keeper. He's a good keeper.
He's not Martinez level. Martinez plays for Villa. He's an average keeper. He wouldn't walk into any other big team.
Okay, cool.
Leno doesn't get into any other big team.
In the context of Harlem rap, Martinez is Cameron, and Leno is Joel Santana. I love.
Santana. Yeah, they're not. Don't give Leno that kind of props.
It's killer.
Don't killer Cam. Don't give Leno those props ever. He's not. He wouldn't get into the City team. He wouldn't get in the Liverpool team. He wouldn't get in. Martinez is a better goalkeeper than him. He wouldn't get into Chelsea.
Yes, he would.
He's not better. He's not better than Schmeichel. Martinez is better than Leno.
Oh, Schmeichel, no, not better than Schmeichel.
No, but Leno's not better than any of the top 5 keepers.
But we're not a top 5 side.
But Martinez. I think Martinez is better than Chelsea's keeper.
Yes, he's better than Schmeichel. He's better than, I think, Edison.
Right.
Alisson, I don't know. I can't judge Alisson yet. It's a bit, but listen, for me, Martinez is a world-class keeper. He claims the ball, excellent. With his feet. He is. The fact that we had this guy in the reserves and we're playing Ospina. This fucking club, man. Do you know what? I'm so glad I retired. I'm fucking.
Yeah, he's just stupid.
We sent him on loan to fucking Brentford or wherever the fuck it was, Reading, and we had this guy, and we were playing fucking Ospina, who's basically a mule for the Colombian cartel. Don't get me started.
Well, let's move away from that game then. Let's move on to the Burnley Leeds game. 4-0 Leeds. Predictions wise, you said Burnley were to win this game 5-0. No, you didn't really. You said 2-1 Burnley. And I said one. And I said 1-1 draw. But neither of us were close. Leeds smashed it for us. No, too late.
I say 4-0.
No, it's too late. It was a nothing game, right? Nobody's got anything to play for. But it was lovely to watch. I mean, the first and third goal of Leeds was absolute class, like pure technique, touch. It was just lovely to watch. And it wasn't a full domination as the score suggests. It wasn't a 4-0 battering. I thought Burnley had enough chances to make it maybe 4-2. But overall, Leeds were good for their win. And actually, Leeds, mate, I love watching Leeds, as you know, and you've been the biggest fans of Leeds since the Championship. So
Super Leeds,
So we know exactly how you feel about them too. But I think that game was really, really nice to watch, just from both sides actually. It was good to see Burnley involved in the good game too.
I mean, finally, most of Burnley's games is like watching like paint dry. But once again, the Don that is Bielsa, El Loco, the legend. What do they call him? El Loco? I think it was.
Is it the crazy? Is it
the crazy one? Yeah. They there's a story I think back in Argentina or Brazil or somewhere. He's managing a club, and then someone, I can't remember saying this. Someone basically said, I've got someone basically pulled up to the training ground with a jerry can full of petrol and a box of matches. He said, "I'm going to light you up," and he said, "Do it. You know, do it. I'm right here. Pour it over me." So that's why they call him El Loco. I am so glad for Leeds. For me, there isn't a Premier League without Leeds in there.
No,
Leeds,
okay.
I'm sorry, but it's just not the same. Huge club, big city, wonderful city. And the fact that Leeds are back now and they're playing this brand of football, I am delighted. That Rodrigo, by the way, I think I said to you, or maybe you mentioned it, I'm not sure. He's going to get moved to a big club very, very soon.
Yeah. Well, we talked about Rafinha a lot, didn't we? But I think
was it Rafinha?
We did talk about Rafinha.
Yeah, Rafinha will definitely be a big move.
But they'll both get moves, I agree. I think Rodrigo will too. He was special.
I think too. And also saw like my prediction of Patrick Bamford banging goals in the Prem came true. A lot of people didn't think it was possible because I think he played for Borough in the Prem before and didn't really do too well. But I saw him in the Championship and I thought he's going to do really, really well. He has that kind of like, you know, big Tory energy about him. You know, he has that kind of Waitrose on a Sunday morning kind of energy about him. So, yeah, I think, you know, the Prem's the right place for him. And, yeah, you know, I think, Patrick Bamford, top striker.
Right. Okay. Well, let's move on to the Southampton-Fulham game. So it's 3-1 to Southampton that game. Fulham feel like they've given up. And I mean, Southampton picking up a bit of form again, but again, it's for nothing. I mean, it was a nice goal from Theo. Nice to see him get on the score sheet again.
Always nice to see a Theo score.
It just seems like Fulham have got nothing left to play for, and they showed it in that game. I think Southampton were always going to win that game. Prediction-wise, actually, I said 1-1. You said 1-0 Southampton, so you got correct victory. But no, I haven't got any scores right this week. So if you had an actor, you'd be terrible. So go on.
Can I? Sorry, I know we're short on time. Can I quickly comment to my Aka story?
Yes, please. I'm always here for stories. Yeah, go on.
Cool. So, final game of the 2011-2012 Premier League season. City versus United were basically kind of tussling it at the top of the league. I was with my mate, final game of the season. I linked him. He said, "Let's pop into this Paddy Power," because he was always in there. He said, "Why don't you do an Aka?" I thought, the Aka sounds nice. Cool, I'll try that because I had like a pretty good feeling of the way the season was going. So I did my first ever Aka, right? So I think I put like a $5 down on it, which is quite a lot.
Yeah. Most Akas, you put £1, £2 on.
Yeah, exactly, £1 or £2, whatever. Cool. So I took my Aka, went back to the house, watching all the games. I got every single result correct.
Okay.
Apart from one.
Oh, okay.
Bolton were away at Stoke City. They were away at the Britannia.
JJ Bolton.
Yes. I don't think they were playing for that. All they needed to do was win. If they win, Bolton stay in the Premier League.
Oh, okay.
But at 85 minutes, Bolton are winning 2-1. I saw my Aka and I saw my winnings. Several £1,000s. I'm already spending the money in my head.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to go here. I'm like, literally, I'm doing a two-step in the living room thinking, hey, money's in my account. I'm popping straight over to Paddy Power, collecting my winnings. And I think, who was it? Was it Ryan Shawcross or some other cunt? Scored with like, I think, in stoppage time or just before that, made it 2-2. So because of that one goal, I missed out on all those winnings. And that was the first and last time I've ever played an Aka. I
have a very similar Aka story to that.
Ooh, let's hear it.
But I remember this because it was at university, and I'll be quick. Similar story. It was on the Euros week. This was all international games.
2008?
This was been about 10, 12 years ago. So a long time now. Okay. Yeah, longer than that. I was like 18. I remember it because my brother and my friends were in the house, and we all gathered around the screen watching. I put £2 on. The prize was £49,000 at a university student. And I think everything come right. Bar one game, The game that got wrong is Czech Republic Poland, and I had Czech Republic to win that game, and that was when they had Pavel Nedved,
Jan Koller.
Jan Koller, like Czech were a
Peter
serious
Cech.
team. Yeah, Peter. They don't lose to Poland.
Thomas Rosicky.
Yes, exactly. This was that Czech Republic team.
That was a great side.
And they lost 2-0 to Poland at Kilmarnock.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And my friends were there. We were all gathered around the screen, mate, because I was just like, we're going out. As soon as this lands, we're going out. And that game was like 2-0
Spoons.
Which is, I don't care where we would have gone, mate. 49 grand as a uni student. It was going mad, mate. But
49 grand.
£49,000. I'll never forget.
For a student, that's like, that might as well be £1 million.
In my third year, like halfway through, like think about the party you would have.
Never, okay.
Mad.
When you're, I think in your third year or as a student living on campus, you never need the money more at that point.
No, yeah.
Can you imagine what a 49k cash injection would do for you?
Mate, I could, yes, at the time, but let's move on. Let's move on.
Oh, were you spending the money like me? In your
in my head, mate, it was gone. Right, let's move on because we've got a fair few games to go through. Brighton, West Ham, 1-1. Now, Brighton were the better team for me, and Wells continued to score goals.
That guy?
That guy Wells. West Ham, absolutely over for the Champions League. Completely done now, in my eyes. And another, it was a great goal from Ben Rama. Actually, a really wonderful goal. But Brighton continued to be a great side, and West Ham just have bottled it basically at the last minute.
Cool. This is why Brighton will never go down. Brighton could walk up at any point and beat anybody in this league.
Yeah, you keep saying this. You say this.
I keep saying this. They're a dangerous side.
They are a dangerous side.
If it was okay, cool. So like Arsenal, if it was like, hey, listen, 38th game, 1 game to go, you need to win this to win the league, but you're playing Brighton at the Amex. Yeah. We're losing. And in fact, anybody's losing because they're that good. I don't know what it is about them.
Yeah.
Graham Potter is a wonderful manager. They have such a great squad, top to bottom. The spine of that squad is fantastic. And so, yeah, but what I'd like to do is kind of shout out Side Ben Rama because I watched him a lot at Brentford. Because I thought they were coming up. So him, Ollie Watkins, looked really good. The keeper, David Raya, Brian Mbembo, looked really, really good. Even Jantas Ponsen for Brentford looked really good. So I followed, I've been following Brentford quite a lot in the Championship last year, to a lesser extent this year. But yeah, he's such a good player. But yeah, I thought it was a fair result. And I would like to see more Ben Rama next season. I want him to start. I want him to be on the left. I want him to kind of show what he's shown in the Championship and show that promise. So,
I think Lingard will go back when he's Man United. So if they don't buy him, there's a perfect chance for Ben Rama to start starting this game. Everton, Sheffield United. So relegated Sheffield United beat Everton 1-0. Now, Everton's Champions League home dashed as well. Really weird. Like Ancelotti's been so hit and miss this year, and I find it so unusual because the Goodison form has been terrible. Obviously, there can be fans back for the last game. Everyone's last home game, I think they have got 6,000 fan capacity back in. So I think Everton will win their last home game. But the thing for me is that Ancelotti's bought some good players, and it's a pretty decent team. So it's really, really weird that he's been so hit and miss all year. Everton bottle jobs.
It's not weird for me.
Why?
And I don't like the fact that you've labelled them as bottle jobs.
Well, that's what they are, and they were smashing it.
Well, yes, but I like Everton. I lived in the city, and they were my adopted club. And I've been to Goodison a few times. I think, along with Sheffield United, the lack of fans has affected them the most because.
And that's sorry.
More so.
No, more so us. I would argue.
More so you.
Anfield,
a relegated side.
If you look across. But look at our season's been terrible. Our home form's been terrible. We had 63 games unbeaten, no fans. We lose 6 on the bounce. Liverpool's known as Anfield being a special European night, a special night.
The last game we had at Anfield, Alvaro Morata slid a left foot near post finish against your keeper, who's supposed to be legendary, and you had a full house.
Yeah. So
how do you explain that?
Well, anyone can have a bad game. You're trying to isolate one game and talk about fans. It doesn't make sense. Come on. Think about the Barcelona game. Think about the Barcelona game. Think about that's another dead ball opinion, right? Basically, you've had it. Thankfully, Armin has given us more data.
I just realised I support Arsenal. Let's not talk about bad European games at home.
Let's not talk about bad fans if you're an Arsenal fan either. Very plastic fans, mate. What? Absolute plastic fans.
Tell you what, if I was still an Arsenal fan, I'd be so offended by that remark. Yeah.
But sorry, you were saying anyway about the game.
The Liverpool thing for me, I think they've been really, really affected by the lack of fans. As with Sheffield United, I've got a few United fans who go every week and who've basically been following them since the League One days. Yeah. So it's been really, really big for them. I don't blame Ancelotti. I do blame him for the fact that he hasn't got rid of Pickford yet. That's his fault. Yeah. He has a world-class left-back in Luka Dean.
Luka Dean, yeah.
Yeah, he has James Rodriguez, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, all these
wonderful Alisson's quality.
Richarlison, exactly. It's really good players. I just think the players on the pitch haven't performed. And for me, it's down to them. I'm sorry, but there's no way in this world, if you're chasing European football, you should be losing to the side who are bottom. No. Who have the second worst record in Premier League history after that Derby County team and got 11 points. So, unacceptable for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Right, only a couple of games left. Southampton Palace, it was 3-1 Southampton. Benteke finding the net again. A bit of a lost man at Palace, I feel. He probably is playing so well because he wants to move now. I think.
Who, sorry?
Benteke. I think he's picked up form at the end of the year. I feel like he could probably go to a league abroad and score a lot more goals. I think at a Palace side that doesn't create a lot of chances, he's never going to be the guy. I think he'll just stay in this kind of level of
imagine like Benteke at like a Ligue 1 team,
That's what I was thinking, like a Lille or something like that. Yeah, so Etienne, yeah. Or even like a Hamburg side. So someone like a Leverkusen, someone like that. Like he would do okay there, and I think
good bits.
He would, yeah. I mean, like, look, in that game anyway, Ings still on fire, mate. The boy Ings. The City move's gone a bit quiet. I think.
If I was City, I would be all over him. English, homegrown, goal scorer, out and out number 9. If you sign Scott Carson, fucking just sign Danny Ings. Come on.
No, I agree. But my fear for Danny Ings is that he should probably stay at Southampton and just score 20 goals a year for the next couple of years.
Not for me.
Because if he goes to City,
go to City, you'll quadruple your wages. You'll be in line to win Premier Leagues and Champions.
You barely play. You know what it's like.
If I was 19, I would agree with you. But now, being at my age now, I'd rather be at a club like City. Maybe, come in, maybe score 10 goals that season, pick up my Premier League winners medal, Champions League winners medal, be part of a successful squad. Danny Ings is he's in his 30s. He's had a couple of serious knee injuries.
Yeah, he has.
Why give that up? So why not go for that?
Yeah. No, that's a very valid point, mate. Very valid point. I agree. Minamino, taking him back at Liverpool, is his time over?
I would take him. I like him.
I like him too.
I really do like him. I think the problem is, I think Klopp's system at the moment doesn't suit him because you guys play at 4-3-3.
But he could play Firmino's role, surely. Unselfish.
Nah, not for me. If anything, you could probably put Mane's role, but I don't think he's good to kind of outplay. I think for me, his natural position, what he plays for Southampton, is in the midfield. Southampton player 4. Well, no, Southampton player 4. And at the moment in your midfield 3, you've got people like Henderson and Wijnaldum. Exactly, Milner. That's run a million miles an hour and covers so much ground. Because the other team usually has 4. So you're already one player down in that position.
Yeah.
Also, that's another reason why you guys I think have fell off because you lost Henderson.
Yes, I agree. Massively.
Henderson. I know. Okay, cool. I know I made a joke that Henderson I think I said to you years ago, Henderson spends half the game chasing his first touch. Yes, that is true to an extent.
It's not.
I've seen the light. And
have you? Good.
I have seen the light. This guy he's so good. He offers so much. And if Gareth Southgate knows anything about football, which he doesn't, he will take him to the Euros and start him alongside Declan Rice.
Well, I read today that Trent's still not on that plane, so that's what shows you what he knows about
Trent's
football.
starting. Trent is starting.
I agree, but apparently he's not on the plane at all, so he's not going. But
Who's he taking? Wan-Bissaka, Trippier.
he's taking Trippier, Reece James, and someone else, and then Chua will be his left back, won't he?
Pair of bums. How could you?
How could you not take a generational talent, as you call it? And I love it when you use that phrase, by the way.
He is.
He is a generational talent in right back, and he can play in 3 or 4 positions. So to not take him is a fucking crime. He should be tried in the court of law for that. I think personally, he's fucking mad.
In 40 years' time, Dons are going to be on YouTube talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold and talking about his highlights. Okay,
Yeah.
this guy is literally world class. He's he's one of the best right backs I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to listen. I don't want to do like hyperbole or big him up too much or go overboard. This kid, how old is he? 19, 20?
20 now. Yeah.
20. Look who was doing at fucking 17, 18.
Yeah. Champions League winner, Premier League winner at the age of 20. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Hold on. Have you ever that game against Leicester away?
I remember.
Hold
a goal and 2
Leicester
assists.
Are a fucking good side. My guy was doing up Zidane, number 10, at right back. At right back. At right back. Look at my right back.
Yeah, I know.
Come on,
man too busy doing fashion shoots to stop a defender, stop a player going past him.
I love Hector, but
yeah,
not
so
because he's a great player. I just like
same. Guy. He's a great person.
Yeah, I love him to bits.
Yeah. But he's not football.
Man. That starts him every game. I don't care. I just love the guy to bits. But look at Trent. And the fact that he's a West Derby kid.
Mm-hmm. He's a West Derby boy, yeah.
He's a local guy.
He's a scouser in our teammate, as they say.
He's a scouser. Man, bun Southgate. Anyway, listen.
Right. Anyway, 2 games left. Let's just agree. So Burnley, Fulham, 2-0 Burnley. Again, another game, nothing to play for in both those teams. I mean, Vidra is a decent player. That's what I wanted to give a shout out for this game.
Great backup.
Great. And Wood, it was a great finish from Wood. I think it was nailing the coffin for Fulham. Fulham were done anyway, but it was kind of over. I think for me, I really like Vidra. I think he's a fantastic player. And I think Burnley, albeit boring, like they had such a hit and miss week. Like they really beat Fulham 2-0, and then do you know what I mean? They lose 4-0 to Leeds 4-0.
This is why Burnley will never go down. Because when you need to switch on, they're there. Sean Dyche, for me, is the most important manager in the Premier League. Because Burnley would be in League 2 without him.
I agree, they would be, yeah.
He is everything to that club. Everything. I think Chris Wood is a great player. I think Ashley Barnes up front. They play that. They play that brand of like Brexit football. The
pure Brexit football.
Proper Brexit football, which we haven't really seen since Blackburn got relegated. Remember Blackburn in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Remember Blackburn in the Premier League with like, Phil Jones at the back and Two Guy and Matt Jansen.
Two Guy,
yeah. Like Andy Cole.
Yeah.
Even, they just had that kind of brand of like proper Brexit northern football, and either you go there 4-0 or you get battered 4-0. Like, it's gonna happen. Honestly, I think there is a place in the Premier League for them, and they're staying out comfortably. And like Brighton, they're never going down.
Okay. And the last one for this week is Villa Everton.
Oh, yes.
So, boring game, but as my notes were, Martinez insane buy for Villa. Better than Leno in every way.
20 million, by the way. We sold them for 20 million.
That's good money.
Good money. We bought Xhaka for 34. Good thing. I'll tell you what. This club, man, they have. I hate these guys.
It's very funny that. Well, it was a boring game. Everton were mainly on top, but I mean, both those teams have nothing to play for anyway. So
both comfortably mid-table. They're not really going anywhere. They're not going into Europe. However, if I was Everton, I'd be gutted because you're thinking this is their season. Because their plan was to crack into the top 4. and they're nowhere near it. Disgraceful, unacceptable season from me. I don't blame Ancelotti. I blame the players.
Okay. I mean, for me, I'd say it's a bit of both. But I would love Ancelotti. And has Ancelotti, he's won a Premier League, hasn't he? If I'm not mistaken.
Of course, he won it with
He won it with
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yeah, exactly. He won the double, yeah. The FA Cup and the league. So he's
It tells
still...
you how good this guy is. It's the players that's letting him down.
He's a great manager. There's no two ways about it.
Wonderful
I
manager.
love him. But
Arteta.
maybe he's got it a bit wrong at Everton. You can't
I don't think he has. The only thing he's got wrong for me is the keeper situation. He should have binned
Pickford. Yeah, Pickford.
But at the same time, Pickford did end Liverpool's season, so you know.
So what? So that's a good thing?
I mean,
so you're happy about that, are you?
I'm not happy, no. But I'm just saying, if I was an Everton fan, I'd be delighted to both, sabotage Liverpool.
That's fine, but what a petty way to
win the league.
No, I get that, but what a petty way to be against your rival. Like, I hope someone gets hurt. I hope someone gets hurt. Basically,
hello. I remember Villa fans away at the Emirates remember when Eduardo got injured.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
when he was assaulted by that cunt in Birmingham, and he snapped his leg and ankle in five places.
I remember. Yes.
You know what Villa fans were singing like a week or two after at the Emirates? They were saying, Eduardo, he's got no football skills. He walks like Heather Mills.
Football fans are cutting at times. Football fan songs, I must say, are some of the best songs you'll ever hear in your life. They are very close to the bone. They're so funny.
Cracking up at the same time because, that is insane. How could you say that? I've always hated Villa after that. All their fans had a grudge against. Every time I beat them, I'm like, yes.
Just because of that very funny song.
That. It's disgusting.
It is, but it's very funny. It's very dark. But football fans' humour is quite dark.
Well, exactly.
Some of the songs they sing are horrific. Like really, really.
Oh yeah. I know.
That's the end of the episode, Ahmed. Another successful episode in my head. So that's episode 11 until we had to...
You're all successful.
Had some minor interruptions from your stellar broadband. I mean, just upgrade, mate. Don't leave.
Virgin Media, 1 gig fiber broadband. Yeah.
Don't give him free advertising. Well, maybe.
You know what? Next episode, I'm recording at the McDonald's on the high street. Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Right. Well, next week we may have a guest. We'll probably have some calls. I think there's a few people that are keen to get back on the call-in show. We'll see. We're not going to give you any predictions this week, but we're hoping that Liverpool finish in top 4. Well, I'm hoping Liverpool finish in top 4.
I hope so.
Oh, that's very good.
We need Liverpool in the Champions League. Come on, bro.
I agree.
And the fact Chelsea will fall out, so you know how happy that makes me.
What if do you know what's funny is that Chelsea could go from 2 finals to being in the Europa League and losing both. We can only hope.
If that happens, I'm going back to the mosque and I'm putting £100 in the donation box. That's what that. Tielemans and now Liverpool finish top 4.
Yeah.
I don't need any.
And they lose the Champions League final, so they get
Oh
Europa
my
League.
God!
God.
Yeah, how good would that be?
It's going to happen to a nicer club, but.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. We've only got a couple of episodes left, so we'll see you soon. Bye.
Take care.